Hey guys, so this week we're talking about praying mantises. This is a female African mantis, this one here. She's not quite mature yet. You can tell, most mantises you can tell they're mature because they'll have wings. Which you can see her waving in the air there. These guys are absolutely amazing pets. They have very short lifespans. Generally all live less than a year. But they're still one of the most interesting pets I've ever kept. And there's plenty of different species. So this one is the African mantis. And as the name suggests, these guys come from Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa. They go to about 6 to 8 centimeters. They generally like it on the warmer side, so around 28-30 degrees. I keep these guys about 28. You can let it get down a bit colder at night, like 18 degrees at night really is like the cold end of it. They're a fast growing species. When they're little you can feed them like fruit flies. I actually feed these guys, all my little mantises, I feed baby pallid roaches because they actually climb around very well. So the mantises can find them. And they're very, very small and easy, soft prey for them. But if you have access to fruit flies are the best things for baby mantises. But these guys, which I'm going to feed, I'm going to show you the one or two other ones of these African mantises, and then I will show you, hopefully, if I can get a shot of them, hopefully I'll show you a shot or two of these guys actually eating. But I'm going to put this one back in now, and I'm actually going to show you her future boyfriend. So this is the male, and you can actually tell them. You can tell the males from the females by the amount of segments on the abdomen back here. You can see on the abdomen, basically males have more segments than females. So males have about 8, and females generally about 5 or 6. I think it's 5, but they less than 8. If you have one with a lot of segments, it's a male. Both males and females of this species develop wings when they're adults. So this guy's gonna have wings soon. He's actually, probably can't see it in these shots, but he is starting to develop his wings. So is the female. But this guy's name is Chucky, and the other one is Tiffany. Just in case I had forgotten to say it. And I'm going to pop him back in his little enclosure now. And I'll show you a third one now, just a smaller one. So what these guys look like when they're a little bit smaller. So this is Lilith. This is again another African mantis. And she's a slightly smaller one. This was actually one of the first ones I ever got. She's absolutely awesome. Though I think this one actually might be a male. No, it is female. But I'm going to show you now just sort of different setups you can use for these guys. These guys aren't very demanding on humidity, so it doesn't really matter where you keep them as long as they have the space for themselves. They need like twice their own height at minimum, 2 to 3 times their own height minimum to be able to shed properly. So other than that, they don't have many requirements as regards their house. But I'm going to show you 3 different setups I'm using at the moment. So this one whose name is Lilith lives in this little enclosure here. I just give her a scare. Now come on. So we'll show you this enclosure first. I'm back in the house. So always make sure there's some sort of mesh or something on the top of your enclosure so that they have something to hold on to. But we have here, this is Lilith's enclosure, and you can actually see her one of her molts on the floor down here. So this is actually one of the nicer setups I'm using. We have here then, this is just the male setup, so he's a very basic setup. It's actually still the same tub he came in, because it still has enough height for him. So we have here, this is just a custom enclosure that I built myself, and it's not a fancy enclosure, but this is to Tiffany's enclosure. You can see her up the top there if the camera will focus through the mesh on her. But I built this. It's just some wood frame and some mesh then all around. My little locking system is actually just Velcro. But that's another basic setup again, because these guys aren't very tough on humidity or anything. This species doesn't need much as in the way of like humidity enclosed into it, so they're fairly simple to set up in pretty much anything as long as they have the space to molt. But I'm going to move on now and show you a different species of mantis. So this here is an Indian flower mantis. This one, it's only a baby. These guys are really interesting. I actually find these guys quite cool, because they will actually go after their prey, hunt it down, and they can take quite big prey items. I had read originally before I got them that they kind of needed smaller prey items like fruit flies, but they actually will take quite big prey items. I do normally try and stick to things around the size of their head, but this one particularly is a little beast. If I throw in like a small cricket, it'll go after things nearly the same size as it. But these guys need a little cooler. Only about 23 degrees on the low end during the daytime. They also needed a bit more humid, so these guys need about 60 to 80% humidity. So you do need to spray them down about 2 to 3 times a week. Personally, is how much I spray mine now. They also a smaller species, because these guys fully grown only get to about 4 centimeters, which is quite small. And again, these guys can get down to 17-20 degrees at night, so they can get a little cooler at night time as well. But this guy's really cool. I love him. So again, with these guys, same as the African, you can count the segments on the butt, the abdomen, which you probably won't be able to see in this footage. There is little segments there. But this little guy hasn't actually got a name, so you can see him actually licking some of the sweat or whatever he can taste on my hand off me. Let's see if I can get a nice in shot of his face. These guys have a really interesting face. So that's the Indian flower mantis. So I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to show you the last species that I happen to own. So what we have here now, this is the last species that I own. This is a ghost mantis. And these guys are really interesting. As you can see, they're really interesting looking mantis. They look like a leaf. There is another species called a dead leaf mantis, but these guys actually look more like leaves, I personally think. But this one's a male one, and with the males, with these guys, you tell them slightly differently. I think you can still use the segments, but you can tell by the shape of the head. The females well, I'll show you the males because this one's a male, but on the top of his head, see the little crown on the top of his head is pointed. Basically, the males have slimmer bodies, so from the back he's slimmer, and his little crown is pointed. So that means that it's a male. That's how you determine the male from female with these guys. So the females have a flat, wide top on that point, whereas the males like this one have the slim point. These guys as well do need a bit more humidity. Again, these guys are around the 60% upwards on the humidity. Temperature wise, around the 26 to 30 degree mark. Spray them about the same as I do with the flower mantis, 2 to 3 times a week. But this one seems a little stressed at the moment, so I am going to put this one back, and I'm going to grab out the female that I have here. So this is the female now, and you can see from her back she's much broader back and much wider on the top of her head, her little crown. Again, one of the things I love about mantises is to see her turning her head, looking around, trying to figure things out. These, I'm sure they're not as intelligent as they seem, but they seem like very, very intelligent little creatures. Again, these guys now happen to be more delicate, so generally when it comes to food. So these guys are much more of a sit and wait predator. These guys really won't go and chase the prey down much, so when you're feeding these, you're better off feeding them off of tongs, or making sure you feed them something that's going to climb around a lot and go near them. Now again, I breed pallid roaches, and the baby pallid roaches, well, pallid roaches of any size will climb around a lot, so generally under supervision, if you leave one in with these guys, it will end up climbing close enough and these will be able to grab them. But fruit flies and other items like that are much better for them when they're babies. Fruit flies, when they're adults, you know, you can get blue bottles or green bottles. And this one's name is actually Regan. This one was for my girlfriend. This was the first one I ever got my girlfriend. And again, she's absolutely adorable. But I'm going to go back now and I'm going to try and feed one of the African mantises for you, because they're bigger, and I'm going to try and feed them a bigger prey item off tweezers. I'm going to feed Chucky here. Hopefully he'll take it off the tweezers. But if not, I'll just drop it in here for him. In fact, I don't think I'll get a good camera angle unless I drop it, so drop it. So, don't think I got a great camera angle on that. But you can see basically these guys are harmless. They don't have venom or anything like that. They just grab their prey, like you saw just there. They grab it and just start eating. That's how they work. They've no venom, no nothing. They just overpower their prey and start eating. Tilt the tub so we can get a better view of him munching his roach. So that was actually a little dubia roach I dropped in there. I'll try and feed Tiffany, the female one there, and see if we can get a better shot of her in her enclosure. So you can see Tiffany up in the corner there. I'm going to show her this on the outside and hopefully she'll turn around for it so we can get a nice shot of it. She's looking at it. Wanted to come over here for it though. She knows what these are, so she should want it. Come on, Tiff. Now, hopefully that showed up well on the camera. And should hopefully, through the mesh, be able to possibly get it to focus up here. You see her munching away in there. So thanks for watching this week, guys. Again, this week was praying mantises, and I do a video every Sunday. Please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and hit the notification button. And I upload every Sunday, so see you next week. Thanks. Bye.